catching up. Hold on.
Hello, how you guys doing? Happy Friday night, right? Yeah.
Friday night, yep.
Happy Friday night, y'all. Thanks for watching Redemption TV. Going to start off with a worship song as usual, and then we'll talk about some news and talk about God a little bit. Your love, oh Lord, reaches to the heavens. Oh, your faithfulness stretches to the sky. Your righteousness is like the mighty mountains. Oh, your justice flows like the ocean's tide. And I will lift my voice to worship you, my King. And I will spend my strength in the shadow of your wings. Your love, oh Lord, reaches to the heavens. Oh, your faithfulness stretches to the sky. Your righteousness is like the mighty mountains. Oh, your justice flows like the ocean's tide. And I will lift my voice to worship you, my King. And I will find my strength in the shadow of your wings. Your love, oh Lord, reaches to the heavens. Oh, your justice flows like the ocean's tide. Amen, Father.
Amen.
Alrighty, what kind of news you got for me today? Hang on a second. Are you finished up yet? Hang on, Michelle.
I'm typing
All
it
right,
up right
she's
now.
done. She's done.
All right, a couple of things. So the Arizona GOP is offering $50,000 reward for evidence of vote buying in the 2022 Arizona primary election. They said 5 patriots who helped bust the thieving Democratic Party will be eligible for one reward for each tip that leads to arrest and conviction of an election fraud suspect.
Yeah, you know, that's also happened in California. A woman named Rachel Hamm is running for Secretary of State. And the Republicans, like, she should have won. And the Republicans at the last minute put a guy in who didn't even, like, what do you call that? Like, campaign.
Right.
He didn't really even campaign. They stuck him in and he just won. And she was leading, like, big time. So they fixed that. So they're doing that. They fixed primaries. Hang on one second. Hey, Lisa. Thank you for watching. Hey, Doug. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, so
I like your joke about the posts about like it's up to you to figure out. It's up to you to figure out what I sent you, like the message. It was like all messed up.
Yeah, we were just talking about that, Doug. Because I was reading an article which had like some typos, and I think it's ridiculous that professional journalists can't read their own work to check the typos.
Yeah, a professional journalist is like, she overcame her addiction instead of addiction, like it was an addiction. She built an addition on their house to help her addiction. She just used that room to shoot up heroin in. Anyhow, whatever.
All right, well, you know what? Right. My opinion on this is that, I mean, the GOP wants other people to do their work, and they'll give them $50,000. Get up off your butts and do what you're supposed to.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that their job?
I think they're just tickling our ears with this statement.
Yeah.
They're not doing anything.
No, and I'm tired of, like, they act... Like you'll see Jim Jordan, and I like how he talks. Like, he really sets them straight. But they go into these Congress meetings, and, like, they'll speak the truth and like lay the hammer down,
and then nothing's done.
Listen, Biden has literally committed treason since the minute he walked into office.
Right.
He commits treason every single day. The border is treason. Him shutting down all those pipelines was treason. Cheating in the ELECT was treason. He's a treasonous, no good shill. He's a Manchurian candidate who was put in there by other countries. You want to talk about other countries? Other countries put him in.
Right.
And also there was a lot of help from our country too, like the mule situation. I'd type what I type. Fend for yourself. There it is. Yeah, that's. Anyhow.
Well, you know what else? The 50 of the House Republicans are now calling for Biden to take a cognitive test. But they're doing this. Well, you made Trump do it, so we think Biden should do it. You know what?
Yeah.
Do more than that.
Biden takes a cognitive test every time he gets in front of a microphone.
We don't need a test.
He can't speak. He can't think. He mutters his words. He slurs his words. He says the wrong thing. He says wrong words even.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. Like really wrong.
It's funny you brought up the wall, because that was one of the things
Pink
I was.
Floyd? I'm just kidding. No.
That's actually works better than the wall we have now.
Yeah, good.
So the Biden administration quietly approved construction of the wall over in Arizona.
Yeah, I saw that.
There's some major gaps there. I guess that's the busiest corridor. So they quietly approved construction, and it'll be funded under the Homeland Security 2021 budget. Although initially it was supposed to be funded by the Department of Defense.
So what do you think made him do that? Like, just to try to look better for the election coming up, so he was like, we'll do a little bit of something positive.
I think it's because it's ridiculous numbers. I mean, I think if he was actually wanted credit for it, he would have been more outspoken about it. They're quietly approved construction. Why is that?
I just wonder, too, if the states, because, the governor of a state has the right also to, like, go, hey, we're going to build this wall. I don't think you need the federal government to necessarily okay it. As long as you have the money.
You shouldn't.
No, you shouldn't. As long as you have the money to pay for it. But anyhow, what else you got?
All right, so...
What else you got?
What else you got? Healthcare workers win $10.3 million settlement case in a class action lawsuit against a Chicago area North Shore University health system. So this lawsuit was on behalf of 500 current and former healthcare employees who were denied religious exemptions, and they won their lawsuit.
That's good.
They didn't want to get the jab.
So healthcare workers, they won a lawsuit, a class action suit, and we did the math. They actually all won like $20,000 each.
Yeah.
Which isn't a whole lot, but it's not bad.
It still sets precedents.
It does.
Precedents.
Yes. It does.
Dang, we get up too early.
Yes, we do.
All right, so let me see. What else do I have? Film Academy member Jeff Cooper. Have you ever heard of him? Jeff Cooper?
No.
Well, he was
Doesn't
sentenced to
sound right.
8 years for molesting a 12-year-old in 2005 and 2007.
Wow.
He was known for designing movie theaters and studios
Huh.
for directors such as George Lucas and
Oh, wow.
yeah,
That's-
Francis Ford Coppola and Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg.
Spielberg. Whatever.
Steven.
All right, so there's my news.
Well, he was up there then. Those are like 3 of the biggest directors ever. So.
Yeah, and this was back. He was found guilty for molesting in 2005 and 2007. I'm really happy to see
That's
that they're
amazing.
going all the way back, because a lot of these guys,
Yeah.
they were just
Yeah. Well, there was a
Obviously.
couple names in there mentioned that should be held accountable for
Right.
things too that aren't being.
Spielberg.
Yeah.
Spielberg.
Yes. So, yeah, we'll see. What other news you got?
That's it.
That's all the news you got?
I gave you like 5 stories.
What about the other day? Do you have anything from the other day? Something,
No.
something.
That's it.
Yeah, and how about the climate change thing too? Listen, we saw a video last night. There's a picture of a woman. She throws gasoline into the back of a woman's. I don't know if it's one. It's a car and it has its windows down. This woman pours gasoline into the back seat, throws a match in or whatever, and it totally blows up in her face and knocks her into the car. It's in a parking lot. It's right next to another car. Knocks her into the car next to it, and then she crawls away. But that's what these climate people, they're not only flattening someone's tires sucks. That's
They're
expensive.
vindictive.
They're
and
vindictive. They're blowing people's
evil.
cars up now. I mean, they're literally like trying to catch people's cars on fire and blow their cars up. They're laying in the streets again.
They're gluing their hands to the road.
They glued their hands to the road. Yeah. Hey, Tammy, thanks for watching. Seriously, that cotton swab has stuff in it.
Oh, the PCR test?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, a friend of ours, her and her husband disagree, and her husband had her son get a test, and she's not happy about it. Because I agree with I've never gotten one, and I wouldn't want anybody to get that.
No.
There's little metallic objects that get in there, and they don't need to shove. Why do they need to shove that up to your blood-brain barrier? It's almost
Right, like
it's
when
not
they do a
really-
DNA test, they can swab the side of your mouth to get DNA.
If you ever watch the ID channel when they're trying to get DNA, they try to catch dudes smoking a cigarette on their break at work because they'll take the cigarette and just by them putting their lips on a cigarette butt, they can do a DNA test.
But they can't test for COVID.
So don't tell me you need to shove that thing clear up your nose when they could test for DNA off of the end of a cigarette that was thrown on the ground because they wait till the guy puts it out, stomps on it, throws it on the ground, then they go over and pick it up and do it. There's no reason for them. Yeah, it's totally nefarious. The whole thing was from the get-go. As what Dr. Burke said, it came ready-made right out of the box.
Right out of the
That's
box.
a quote. With the big V, it came ready-made right out of the box. Dr. Burke's. Dr. Fraud Cheese Sidekick. That was his main right-hand man, we'll say. So yeah, be wary of any of that stuff. That's another reason why we haven't traveled or anything either.
Yeah.
Because they're still making you get those tests in some areas, some places.
Yeah, here you have to have a negative test to even get on a plane.
Yeah.
And they just supposedly got rid of that vaccine pass, but I don't even know. I think it would still be a huge hassle at the airport if you didn't have a vaccine pass. I don't know. And I'm not willing to pay the money for a ticket and not be able to get on the plane,
Right.
or even do a PCR test. So
who's those people who go undercover and catch like news? Well, they catch all kinds of people saying things. It's
Veritas?
Veritas, Project Veritas. There was a woman who was talking to a guy who works for CNN. And this video probably came out a year ago. And the guy from CNN said, once all the COVID bullcrap fades away, that their next thing is going to be climate change. That
Here
they're
we
really
are.
going to push climate change. They're going to show videos, you know, any kind of videos they can find just to make it look like, oh my God, you know, the world's going to blow up or burn up or whatever. And how about them? Okay, hey, let me, I don't want to get ahead of myself here. Oh, here's the thing. You know how they've been saying, like, the glaciers are melting and they're going to, like, make the oceans come up? Listen, man, do yourself a favor. If you believe that, take an ice cube and throw it in a glass of water, and when it melts, the water doesn't go up any higher. When a glacier melts into the water, it doesn't make the water go up any higher. Just like an ice cube melting in your cup doesn't make the water go up any higher. That it already takes up as much space as it's going to whether the water is a solid or a liquid. That's how much they've been lying.
That's science.
That's physics. Yes, and it is science. That's the truth. Look how much they lie. They make up all kinds of stuff, man. I mean, that's just common. You know, they say that stuff to scare us, and we're like, oh yeah. But if you really think it through, it doesn't make sense. It's not true. They do that with all kinds of stuff, man. You just think, well, they're saying it on television, so it must be true. No, it's not.
Well, there was a time when we trusted.
I know that.
These people.
We did. I did too. I know that. I bought into a lot of the bull crap, unfortunately.
And now we know that we can't trust any of them. Really, we
No,
have
you
we
can't.
have to do our own research.
Yeah, you really do. So, you know, and speaking of that, like, I think too, sometimes we almost think we still live in the old covenant. Like, God's still going to punish us or do this and that. Or, like, he really doesn't do that anymore. As a matter of fact, Jesus was the visible image of the invisible God. So Jesus only did what God told him and what God does. Jesus never put a curse on anybody. Jesus healed people.
Right.
You know? Jesus was loving and peaceful. You know? He laid down his life for us. So, and this is John chapter 5, verse 19. Jesus explained, I tell you the truth, the Son will do nothing by himself. He does only what he sees the Father do. Whatever the Father does, the Son also does. For the Father loves the Son and shows him everything he is doing. In fact, the Father will show him how to do even greater works than this. What he was doing then was healing a man, and the Pharisees were questioning him and putting him in a bad spot. That's what Jesus was talking to. That's who he was talking to here. So, for just as the Father gives life to those he raises from the dead, so the Son gives life to anyone he wants. In addition, the Father judges no one. Instead, he has given the Son absolute authority to judge, so that everyone will honor the Son just as they honor the Father. And anyone who does not honor the Son certainly does not honor the Father who sent him. Now, Jesus was sent by the Father, and Jesus said to us, as the Father sent me, I send you. We are the body of Christ. We are his arms, his legs, his voice on this earth. We're his ambassadors. And I think it's a good thing to remember that, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously we can't do things on our own. We can only do things through His power, good things anyhow, through the power of the Holy Spirit. Anyhow.
Well, can I interject?
Yeah, sure.
I think people, we kind of grew up where our churches really emphasized the old covenant.
Yeah.
Where, people had to go and kill animals to repent for their sins. And we had that, once a year where who was it, a Pharisee would go into a tent and...
Yeah.
They
would have to kill the animals and sprinkle blood on the altar and all that.
Right,
yeah.
So once again, there wasn't a very close relationship.
No, there was only one priest
for
for each tribe that could do that, and he would do it once a year yeah.
Right, so what he did was he sent his son down for us. So now, through Jesus, we can literally have a personal relationship, which is like the new covenant.
We can talk to God like he's like our dad. It's why it's Abba Father, which is like daddy almost. Like it's like we're really
and I
his
think
children.
that's what needs to be emphasized more now. Is people need to realize it's not like the old times. You can go directly to God.
There's also no
prayer.
mediator. There's no mediator between God and man except Jesus Christ. So I mean, you don't pray to saints or anybody else. The Bible it says that, but I know a lot of people do. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, that's all. I think that's what we were getting at.
Yeah, and I was just looking at. This reminded me too what you were just saying. Actually, there's the Methodist Church. The Methodist Church, especially this one school. That's why I was trying to look up the article. They're going with the pronoun thing, like it's hers and zers instead of him and her, like Adam and Eve. They're using. I thought I posted it on here. It's like her and zer or something like that. It doesn't even make any sense. I guess I didn't post it on here. Oh wait, yeah, here it is. This is what they said. This is in the beginning, God created her and zer.
H-I-R-Z-I-R.
Yeah, H-I-R and Z-I-R, not Adam and Eve, her and zer. So now we're like, what? Aliens, her and zer? I mean,
that's a Methodist.
That's a Methodist. Yeah, there's a lot of Methodist churches that are leaving because of that. Anyhow, it's a certain school that's teaching that. It's a...
Now let me get you through.
Yeah. I just wanted to see what school it was. But it's pretty crazy.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, buses. This is one of those things I got to prove I'm a human. I want to just read this article real quick. Not the whole article, but a piece of it. And it's asking me if I'm a human. I like when a robot asks me if I'm human.
To read
because
an article.
Artificial intelligence is asking me if I'm human. I like that. That's awesome.
All right, here we go. Atlanta's Emory University.
Emory University in Atlanta is the one who's doing this pronoun joke. That's so... and there'll be more who do it. And I think it's also the Methodist Church, and I might be wrong about this, you could check on this yourself. But they also have ordained pastors who are not only gay, they're trans, and they're not only trans, they actually say that they're an atheist. Now, why would you want to be a pastor if you're an atheist?
What?
Yeah.
That's horrible.
How can you ordain an atheist who doesn't even believe in God? Forget if they're gay or not even. Like, how could you...
What would they even preach? Why would you put them on your pulpit?
We're special. We're God, I guess. Like I was saying.
Yeah. The humanism.
Yeah, we're not God. But I talked about that the other day. But, yeah, we're not God. We're not gods. We're made in His image, but that's not who we are. So, all right.
So, I guess that's it.
I guess that's...
I hope you guys are having a good Friday night. Thanks for joining us.
Yes. We'll go on a happy note. Sorry. That's what the news reminds me of. Whenever I hear it, it's just a joke. It's like that's the punchline. Oh wait, we have a quick message from Joe Biden. I think. And there you go. That's the results of Biden's test. What was
that's
it?
The results of his cognitive test.
Yeah, that's the results of Biden's cognitive test. They just came back. All right. Have a good one.
Bye.
Have a good night.